Hey, what's going on, RotoBallers? Thanks for tuning in tonight for a quick live stream here on Saturday night. If you're just joining me, more than likely you were probably just watching Jake over on the Fantasy Headliners, my co-host on RotoBaller Game Day and the Roto Revolution. So I appreciate him sending you this way and hanging out with me for a little bit now. A great job over there. Let It Flow was amazing as usual. So I appreciate all the work that he does. One of the hardest working guys in the industry. So really glad to be a part of that with him and to know him well. So questions are already coming in here. Ryan, I'm just here to get you some views. Stay awesome, guys. Ryan, we appreciate that, man. Thanks so much. Real quick, why I'm doing a live stream tonight, something I'm going to end up doing a lot more throughout the weeks. I just haven't had a ton of time yet. I'm trying to get my schedule a little bit more set. You would think 8 weeks into the season it would be set, but there's always something coming up. But I want to start live streaming more. I definitely want to live stream more to talk about my dynamic running back rating. So I want to talk about that a lot more as well. There's a lot of other things that I want to talk about throughout the week. Some waiver wire stuff too, maybe on like Sunday nights. I don't know. Whatever I can do to help you guys out is what I am trying to do. And the reason I'm live streaming tonight is because I'm not going to be here tomorrow. So I've had a family thing come up that I have to go take care of tomorrow. So Jake's going to be running solo on RotoBaller Game Day. But please make sure that you tune in and give him all of your support tomorrow. He's going to be flying solo, but he's going to handle it and do a great job as always. 12-1 right here on this channel. Make sure you tune in. He'll keep you up to date on any last-minute injuries, start-sit questions as usual. He will let it flow. More the best that anyone can do, letting it flow. So he's going to be doing that tomorrow as well. So we're going to jump into this. I've got some stuff that I want to actually talk about tonight too, but I want to make sure that we're getting a lot of questions because that's why you are here. So we're going through Upheaval 187 paid questions. No, there's no paid questions in this. You drop your questions in and we will get it taken care of. This channel's a little bit behind Jake's. So Jake's is much larger than ours. We got this started a little bit after Jake had started his channel. I went to RotoBaller and I said, hey, YouTube is the next step. This is what I want to do. This is the project I want to take on. I started developing it and then I went and found Jake and I said, hey, Jake is the guy to help us out. So we're a little bit behind Jake. No paid questions or anything like that. The Fantasy Headliners, Jake is in here. Hey, Kyle, Jake. Hey, man, what's going on? You did great before this, so appreciate it. We've got questions rolling in here, so we'll try to start getting to those a little bit. Tate or Traquan, as much as I love Traquan Smith, he can never sit Golden Tate. So Alex Bondville, I got to go Golden Tate as always. Finkel and Einhorn, A. Miller or Aguilar this week, rest of the season and keeper. That's an interesting one. I think if I had to go keeper status, if we were talking like a keeper league, dynasty league, I'm going to give the nod to Anthony Miller. For right now, though, this week, rest of the season, we're going to go with Aguilar. Not doing nearly as good as I had thought coming into the year, but still doing pretty good. Flex play in PPR league, so if it's PPR league, definitely going with him. Owen Burita, Boyd or Hilton. This one's pretty close for me, but I've got to go Hilton. I got to go with the wide receiver one on his team. Boyd, even though he's played great this year and he's been fantastic, he's not the wide receiver one on his team. AJ Green is, so I got to go with Hilton. Tough question here from Wanna Bet. I get a choice to make James White or James Conner. I get a choice to make James White or James Conner. I got hint Mahomes and Kelsey. Wanna Bet, you're going to have to retype that, man. I guess I didn't quite understand what you were going for there. William, you want to know, is Aaron Jones worth trading for? William, that's actually a great question because next week I've got some trade articles coming out on rotoballer.com. I'm going to be writing both dynasty and redraft trade articles, talking some strategy with you and some players that you want to avoid and that you want to go after. Aaron Jones's name is going to be on there. Yes, I think he's worth trading for. He's just in the little amount of time he's had. I mean, we're very frustrated that he hasn't had more volume at this point, but in the little time that he's had, he's been an uber dynamic running back. So yes, I want to add him in as many places as I can. I feel like talent wins out, and he's got more talent than Jamal Williams or Ty Montgomery. So I am going him. Yo, Kyle, what's up? Hey, man, appreciate you tuning in. Let's see here real quick, scrolling back up. Tyler Boyd or Mike Evans from CFowl13. Mike Evans, every day, all day, Mike Evans going there. Jake Caldwell wants to know Howard, Yeldon, Aaron Jones, or Latavius Murray. Yeldon, I still think Yeldon's going to make a little bit of an impact this week. Not too much, though, Carlos Hyde being there. they're gonna split some carries. I don't think Carlos Hyde absolutely takes over, and Carlos Hyde is the guy that I don't want to go anywhere near this week, so I'm staying away from him. Aaron Jones, again, we just talked about him. He's not getting a ton of volume right now. We need to wait for that to happen. Latavius Murray is an interesting play. I don't like the matchup this week. I'm not going to run out there and start him, but if I had to go Howard or Murray, Murray is actually not going to have a whole lot of competition for touches like Howard will. Howard's going to be fighting with Cohen. So I am actually going to go Latavius Murray this week. If I had to pick out of those four, I would definitely go with him. Stuart wants to know Gronkowski or Vance McDonald, with Gronkowski questionable. Gronkowski no matter what. Jake and I talked about this a little bit on the show last week, and then on the Fantasy Bomb podcast, which I jumped on, which is one of our YouTube shows here on RotoBaller. Talked about Vance McDonald being a boomer bust type play. If you need to start a week where you absolutely need the highest upside, Vance McDonald could be a good one, because it seems like he's either scoring a ton of points or nothing at all. But if Gronkowski's your other tight end, I'm okay running Gronkowski out there. Last week, even though they talked about the injury and things like that, they said he'd be back this week. So I think he's going to end up being fine to play. Arnarv is asking Hilton or Boy. Talked about this one already, going Hilton. Chase, please help. Half PPR, Thompson or Richard and Doyle or Ingram at tight end. Chase, I'm going with Richard at running back. I think he's a really nice PPR play. Even though this is half PPR, I still think he's going to be a guy that outperforms Doug Martin this week. And even though John Gruden gave us the whole backstory that, Doug Martin is going to be the guy, I'm not buying it. Doyle or Ingram, I'm going to go Ingram. Jack Doyle's first game back. Eric Ebron's played really well in his absence. I don't think Doyle's going to make a huge impact this week. I think as he gets back into the swing of things, I think we see a little bit more and more, but Ingram has the highest upside there. So definitely going to go Ingram. Chinmi Kinney, please help. 12-team standard. Shepard, Gabriel, Damaris, Thomas, Fitzgerald, Nelson. You know what, Chinmi? Jake on the Roto Revolution this week for wide receivers listed Larry Fitzgerald as a must start. So I'm going to go with Larry Fitzgerald there. I'm going to go with my guy Jake. He had a lot of great points. So after we're done with this live stream, head on over there and check it out, and you'll get a chance to see exactly what he was talking about and why you should be playing Larry Fitzgerald this week. Gordon, Cheek Sozo wants to know Gordon or Baldwin in flex standard. I'm going to go with Baldwin this week. I don't like the Baldwin play. I think Darius Slay is going to be all over him. I think if they can get Baldwin into the slot a little bit more, he can stay away from Slay. But I really don't like Gordon's matchup at all. So I'm definitely going to stick with the Baldwin play this week. Nobody. That's his name, Nobody. I just acquired Stephon Diggs. Should I try to trade him next week for Alshon Jeffrey? I already have Adam Thielen's standard league. No, I'm going to stick with Diggs because I think you can get someone better than Alshon Jeffrey for Diggs. If this is redraft, his potential return isn't going to be nearly as high. If it's a dynasty league, though, you should be able to cash in really nice with Stephon Diggs. I'm not a huge Stephon Diggs fan. I even said coming to the season that I wasn't a fan of his this year, but in dynasty leagues, he still has that potential. So I wouldn't trade him for Alshon Jeffrey, though. I would try to find a little bit better suitor. Let your league know that he's available. That's what I tell owners all the time. We're into trading season at this point. So going off on a little trade talk here, trade deadlines are probably coming up in your league really, really soon. I know in a majority, almost all of my leagues, the trading deadline is Thanksgiving kickoff. So if you've got a trade deadline coming up soon and you've got players that you want to move, my number one thing that I tell fantasy owners is to make them available to everybody in your league. Let them know that you're thinking about moving, like you were saying, Stephon Diggs. Because if everybody knows, then there's a chance that you can get some people bidding against each other, some people competing against each other, get the offers driven up a little bit more. If you just take the first offer that comes along, then you're missing out on a whole lot of potential, whether it be 11 or 15 or however many teams you play with, other teams that you could have potentially gotten better offers from. So keep that in mind. Trading deadline coming up. If you're going to be making some moves and you're going to be trading a player, let your entire league know that he is available. Get the best return possible for them. Let's see here. AT&T Lafayette, Jordy or Traquan. Jordy's interesting because he's the absolute wide receiver one now. But Traquan Smith has a really nice matchup. And let's talk about that matchup here real quick before we keep moving on. The New Orleans-Minnesota matchup, I think, is chock full of potential for a lot of players this week. In that matchup alone, I have must-starts Drew Brees, Kirk Cousins, Adam Thielen, Michael Thomas. Those probably don't surprise you. I have Kirk Cousins and Drew Brees up in my top 5 tight ends this week. That's how much I like this to become a shootout. The pass defense for the Saints has been getting better the last couple of weeks, but Diggs, Thielen, Rudolph, these guys, they're still going to have some troubles with them. The pass defense for the Vikings is banged up right now. Xavier Rhodes having some issues. They're having some injuries in that secondary. So I think this could be a really big, high-scoring game. So your wide receivers, get them started. Good plays this week. Alvin Kamara, I think he's a good play. I don't think he's a great play because I think they're going to be limited on the ground a little bit. Kyle Rudolph, I think, is a good play this week. Tre'Quan Smith, I think, is a good play this week. And that's why I'm picking Tre'Quan Smith in that question, because I do think he's in for a pretty big week as the wide receiver too. Okay week last week, but he's just going to keep getting better as the season goes on. Stephon Diggs, he's playing second fiddle to Adam Thielen right now. I still think he's a good play. In PPR leagues, he's the wide receiver 20 right now. So he's not giving you probably the value that you drafted him at, but he's still giving you a decent value. You got to have him in your lineup. Hesitation plays. Mark Ingram. I really don't want Mark Ingram anywhere near my lineup this week. Mark Ingram and Latavius Murray, either one, but as I said a few minutes ago, Latavius Murray is going to have the option to have as many touches as he possibly wants. So if you're choosing Latavius Murray compared to other running backs who are going to be held down by, say, a committee or maybe a PPR back that's going to take some touches away, Latavius Murray is the only guy playing. So is he a running back 3, a flex option? Probably, but I think they're going to stay a little bit away from the running game because there's going to be so many passing options this week, and that he's going to have a little bit more work in the passing game, hopefully. Fingers crossed there. Mark Ingram, I don't want him anywhere near my lineup. The good news is right now is that the fantasy headline, Jake wants me to say Mitch Magic. Mitch Magic. Okay, I'm giving into it. I'm not going to fight it anymore. Mitch Magic, I'll say it from now on. But back to this game real quick. With Mark Ingram, Jake and I have a bet right now. The bet was that I had Lamar Miller this week in PPR. He had Mark Ingram this week in PPR. So far, I'm off to a good start. We'll have to see how Ingram does tomorrow. But the good news, the funny part about this is next week on our running back start sit video right here on RotoBaller YouTube, whoever is wrong has to wear their helmet the entire episode. So whether it's me wearing this thing back here, or it's whether Jake's wearing his small mini helmet, which I'm a little bit scared about. He could barely go a few minutes ago with that helmet on without passing out. So I am worried about his health and safety, but a bet is a bet, so you'll have to do it no matter what. Chris Adam. Chris, what's going on, man? I know we connect quite a bit. Gabriel and Tre'Quan or Godwin and Kiki for the rest of the season. I am going to go with Godwin and Kiki. I like Tre'Quan, but the injury over there the injury bug when it strikes and it hits a team and it gives somebody like Kiki QT the opportunity to step in and all of a sudden be the wide receiver 2. Will Fuller is a great weapon, but he's gone now, and someone's going to have to fill in that role. DeAndre Hopkins is going to be deep threat. Kiki QT in PPR leagues is an absolute must start from here on out as long as he's healthy. He has some issues with his hamstring. He continues to deal with those. But him and Godwin really at this point are one injury away from being wide receiver 1s on their team. So that's why I'm going to go with them. Tre'Quan, I like him. Tyler Gabriel, I like him too, but I think he's going to be a little up and down. So that's why I would go Godwin and Kiki the rest of the year. Brian wants to know Tate or Gabriel in PPR. Golden Tate. Keep going with him. Let's see right here. I'm back. Simi wants to know WWE or ROH wrestling. Man, I haven't watched wrestling in a long, long time. I used to be a WCW guy. I used to like them back when I was a little bit younger, but obviously they're gone. WWE now, I don't watch enough anymore. John Foch wants to know Lockett or Ivory in half PPR. If Ivory was going to be playing tomorrow, I would pick Ivory possibly, but he's not. He's playing until Monday night. Lesean McCoy still in the concussion protocol. While I think that's a decent matchup for Ivory, I don't want to try and play that guessing game of whether or not McCoy is going to be ready to go for Monday night. I'm going to go with Lockett and half PPR. Michael Thomas for McCaffrey and Kupp. Solid. Need a solid running back. I'm 1-6. Also have Evans and Keenan Allen. Love the channel. Julio Navarro. Appreciate the love, man. Michael Thomas for McCaffrey and Kupp. If you are in desperate need of a running back and you already have Evans and Keenan Allen, I would take that trade. I would take McCaffrey. I would take Kupp. Kupp's going to offer, when he gets back in and he's playing and he's healthy, Kupp's going to offer some good return. He's going to be a really good wide receiver 3 for you based on that lineup there. McCaffrey, he'll be a bump for you at running back if you need help there. So I would go with that. Let's see here. Does Hulk Hogan still wrestle? I don't know. That's a good question. I can't even remember. I don't even remember the last time I'd seen him wrestle. Ryan Anthony wants to know Stafford or Mitch Magic. Ryan, that's a tough question for me, man, because if you watch his channel, you know how much I love Stafford and my Lions, but unfortunately, I am going Mitch Magic. Mitch Magic is my QB12 this week. Stafford just a little bit behind him. Fubar Bill Murray, man, I appreciate you, Fubar, because you're the one that came up with Jake the Chubb Hubman, so I appreciate you coming up with that nickname for Jake. Amari Pooper or give that man a Chubb are still the two best tags. As much as I love Amari Cooper, hopefully his volume will skyrocket now. Hopefully he'll return that wide receiver 2 value that we all hoped and prayed for. But, nah, we'll have to wait and see. Let's see here. The Lucky Rob, he wants to know Jimmy Graham or O.J. Howard. I am going to go with, let me double check. I want to just look at my rankings here real quick. Jimmy Graham or O.J. Howard. Those two are going to be really close, I believe. Tight ends. I've got Jimmy Graham and O.J. Howard right next to each other. So O.J. Howard at tight end 10, Jimmy Graham at tight end 11. Going O.J. Howard this week. I've got him just a smidge, as I like to say, above. Jerry Smoot, Kyle, is Royce Freeman worth keeping the rest of the year? In redraft, probably not. I think we've reached that time. Royce Freeman gone at this point. Don't know when he's going to come back from this injury. He's out this week. Speaking of which, and Jerry, yes, I would drop Royce Freeman if it's a redraft league dynasty. Though you gotta keep on, man. You gotta hopefully hope that this happens. Let's see here real quick. Back to that game. So what to expect from Phillip Lindsey? Royce Freeman out now. Devontae Booker, is he going to make more of an impact? What's going to happen with the Denver Broncos backfield? Phillip Lindsey right now, and if we talk a little bit about the dynamic running back rating, which if you haven't had a chance to watch the video on this, please get a chance to do that. Talk about the dynamic running back rating, something that I've come up with, a rating system that tells us what running backs have the best upside on any given week. Phillip Lindsey right now is the running back 23 in the dynamic running back rating. In PPR leagues and scoring, he's running back 15. But the reason that he isn't higher on my rating right now is because he's just not getting enough volume, especially in the passing game. So right now he's got a 75 in rushing yards. That's his score there because he's putting together decent yards on the ground when he touches the ball. But we really need to keep an eye on Phillip Lindsey the rest of the year because with Royce Freeman being gone, he absolutely has a chance in PPR leagues to become a legit back-end running back one the rest of the year. And the reason I say that is because in his yards after contact, he's scoring 67 right now, which is a decent score for running backs in yards after contact in this rating. And then also receiving yards after the catch. So after he's getting these receptions, even though he's not getting a ton of them, he is doing a lot with the ball. Devontae Booker is getting some touches. Don't get me wrong. This is going to be a guy that's going to be used. I don't think they want to increase Phillip Lindsey's workload too much, but I think they are going to increase it. And because of that, I think this is a guy that's going to continue to scoot up the boards. In terms of weekly points from now until whenever Royce Freeman comes back, I think you have to look at Phillip Lindsey being a running back one every single week in PPR leagues. I know I have him way up there this week. I have him as my running back. Let me jump back over here again real quick. He's my running back 7 this week. I'm expecting a huge week for him. Freeman's missing significant time. Even though Freeman hasn't done a whole lot, he still had 38% of the running back touches this year. That's still a significant impact. Even if you take that 38 and almost split the difference and give Devontae Booker 15% of that and give the other 15% or more to Phillip Lindsey, then at that point, Phillip Lindsey is going to be getting more than enough touches to not only run up my rating system, but to become a must play every single week. Let's jump back over to some of these questions here now. After that, let's go here real quick. Sanders or Boyd in standard scoring? No, I'm going to have to go Sanders. The guy continues to be red hot. Boyd has a little bit better touchdown upside every single week, but Emmanuel Sanders continues to put together the volume as the wide receiver one, and that's a decent matchup against Kansas City. Now, Case Keenum didn't play that well the last time these two teams got together, but the matchup presents a good enough matchup that I think we need to have Emmanuel Sanders in our lineup. So, yes, absolutely 100% going with him. Aaron Stanley, what do I think? Gabriel or Galladay? I got to go with Galladay. I got to go with my man Galladay. I think he's got tremendous upside every single week. He's definitely the wide receiver 2 behind Golden Tate right now. Marvin Jones he's going to get possibly his 1 touchdown a week. Galladay was actually a against the Dolphins was one touchdown away from having a really good week, but it got called back, so the week didn't look as good as we had hoped. But I'm going Galladay still. He's the guy that I want to have in my lineup for sure. Chubb or Allison, flex and standard. Anthony Germana wants to know. Anthony, I don't like Chubb this week. Man, that's a tough matchup for Chubb. And Allison coming back, I don't know if I'm interested in playing Allison. So even though I don't like the Chubb matchup and I don't think he is going to give you a great week, I'm going with him over Allison because I think Chubb will have the volume. Allison, if he doesn't get 5 or 6 targets, if he doesn't get in the end zone, he's not going to give you a whole lot of volume. If Chubb touches the ball 20, 25 times, the potential's there. So I'm going to go with Chubb this week, even though I don't love it. Let's see here right now. I don't like Chubb. Not this week anyway. I like him the rest of the season. Just traded for him in a dynasty league. Nathan Wilson wants to know Alshon Jeffery or John Brown this week. I'm going with John Brown, man. I cannot seem to get off this guy. He's playing extremely well. Alshon Jeffery, I think he's too dependent week to week. I think he's way too dependent week to week. John Brown has so much touchdown upside. Alshon Jeffery is going to be playing. Now, breaking news, if you haven't heard yet, so a little bit ago we found out that the Jacksonville Jaguars had a little bit of an issue over in London, and apparently there was some arrests made, but it sounds like everybody's back with the team at this point. So Alshon Jeffery is probably going to be playing against Jalen Ramsey at some point tomorrow morning. And again, that is the 9:30 a.m. game. John Brown against Carolina, not the best matchup in the world, but I am going to go with him over Alshon Jeffery because I don't have to worry about the Jalen Ramsey effect going on there. Scroll down here. Let's see, Carson or Landry in half PPR. Jordan Windsor. I like the Carson matchup. I really do. Against the Lions, their rush defense hasn't been great, but they just made a huge trade. Okay, they just got Snacks Harrison, as I like to call him, to shore up the middle of the defense. So that defensive line in the front end now, in the middle, is going to be stacked. It's going to be hard to run up the middle on the lines. You're going to have to go to the outsides, and if you do that, Jared Davis, a very athletic linebacker. I think the rest of the season, you're going to see the Lions defense get a little bit better just off one trade. I really like that trade for them. So I got to go with Landry. I think Landry with Mayfield against the Pittsburgh secondary. I think Pittsburgh is going to light up Cleveland. I'm rooting for Cleveland, even though I'm not an Ohio guy. I'm a Michigan guy. I'm still rooting for Cleveland because it's about time. They need to start winning some games. I think this is the nail in the coffin for Hugh Jackson. I think the Steelers are going to just smoke the Browns this week, and I think that's what's going to end up doing them in. So I have to play Landry because I think there's going to be a lot of catch up to play in that game. So I'm going to go with Landry for sure, especially in half PPR. That just adds to his value there. Mike D wants to know Jordy Nelson or Jordan Howard half PPR in the flex. I still don't like Jordan Howard this week. I'm not a fan. Jordy Nelson, he's got potential as that wide receiver 1. What's going to happen now with Amari Cooper gone? And half PPR, I think I'm going to lean Jordy Nelson this week. Wow, Kyle, you just got mad respect from me, Joe Camel. Sorry, Joe. I put you in timeout last week. That was a new feature in the chat. I didn't realize, but you kept throwing out the hashtag never Kyle. What was I supposed to do? You forced my hand. Joe, I appreciate it, man. I'm glad you got a little bit of respect for me now. That's good to see. Jerry Alvarado, Barner or Fitzgerald? Let me talk about this one real quick. So going with Larry Fitz, again, I already talked about him. Jake mentioned that he is a must start this week. I agree with Jake. He had some great points on why we're starting him, so I'm going to put him in. But let's talk about Kenyon Barner, and let's talk about the backfield for New England for a second. Sony Michel actually returned to practice today. He was out there on the field. Now, do I expect him to start anytime soon? No. I think they need to take it easy with him, and that's going to be the smart thing to do for New England. Kenyon Barner, I don't want anything to do with him. Kenyon Barner got a little bit of play last week. So after Sony Michel went down, let me grab my notes here real quick. So I've got those stats for you. Scroll down here a little bit. New England. So after that happened, Kenyon Barner came in last week and had 10 carries for 36 yards. I don't think Barner's going to get any more than 10 to 15 carries a game. If he's only going to average 3.6 yards per carry, he's not going to give you a whole lot of volume or a whole lot of efficiency to go with any kind of a volume that he has. That's not nearly enough for me. James White is the guy there. Kenyon Barner is never going to catch a pass. It's going to be all James White. James White is still going to carry the ball as well. Last week he had 11 carries, 8 receptions, 19 total touches. 97 total yards, 5.1 yards per carry. I expect to see the same thing this week. If you own Kenyon Barner, if you grabbed him as an emergency, I would throw him to the side. Do not start him this week. I am not putting him in my lineup. I don't want anything to do with that this week. And if you're looking for an emergency option, okay, and this might be a little bit of a bold take here. I really like Trenton Cannon this week. I really like him as a PPR play. He did a really good job last week. It was all in the passing game, but this kid is dynamic. If you go check his Spark scores, if you go look at this kid's outliers, this kid is really, really, really good. He's got the dynamic capabilities to make an impact this year. And this matchup against the Bears is not great for Isaiah Crowell. They're not just going to run over the Bears, even though the Bears defense has been sloppy at best lately, and their passing defense is not very good. They've still been really good against the run. They're within the top 4 in terms of fantasy points against opposing running backs. Trenton Cannon, I think, is a really, really, really good PPR play this week. I think there's going to be some passing, especially if the Bears offense is clicking and going well. Trenton Cannon. So if you're out there, if you have an injury, if you have a bye week, if you need help in a PPR or half PPR league this week, I suggest you go pick up Trenton Cannon and put him in your lineup. I like him a lot this week. Justin, would you play Latavius Murray this week? I would like to not play Latavius Murray this week, but it depends on what your other options are. I don't like the matchup. New Orleans is pretty good against the run. I think there's going to be a lot of passing in this game. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. Latavius Murray, to me, needs to break off a big run or break off a big reception, get in the end zone or something to return that value. I don't think his efficiency is going to be good, so I don't want to play him, but again, it's going to depend on who else you have. Let's see here real quick. J-Rock wants to know Kirk or Gabriel or Sterling Shepard. I'm going to have to go, and again, it depends on PPR standard. I might change my mind a little bit. Sterling Shepard, I'm going to toss out. Evan Ingram being back kind of ruins his value for me. I think he's a must-start if Ingram is out. But Barkley is just soaking up so many pass-catching opportunities this year that it's hurting Sterling Shepard. So we have to go with Kirk or Gabriel at this point. Not a fan of Kirk this week, so I'm going to go with Gabriel. Josh Rosen, he's got a little bit of an injury with his toe right now. Strained toe, whatever it may be. If that's affecting him in any way, it's affecting the passing game. So I'm going to go with Gabriel for sure. Joe Camel is telling Jake he needs an ointment. I don't know if I even want to scroll up and see what that's all about. Nick Z wants to know Jordy Nelson or John Brown, going John Brown. Austin Stark wants to know Peterson or Chubb, going Peterson. Dante McCringleberry says hold on to Fournette. I don't think you have a choice right now. You got to see what happens with him. He has no value. Hold on to Fournette. If you can get a decent offer, you might want to roll with it, though. Ryan Garrison wants to know half PPR, who to sit, Carry-On, Mac, or Lindsey. That's a tough one. Oh, man. Yeah, try to get them all in your lineup. If you really can't get them all in your lineup, then I'm going to sit Mac. I have Mac at my running back 6 right now. Okay, I think he's in for another good week. But the problem is he didn't practice the other day. He was back to practicing again, but are there some lingering injury issues? I think there's a higher chance that you put Mac in your lineup over Carry-On or Lindsey, and Mac ends up needing to sit. That's the only reason why. If Mac is 100% fully healthy, then I'm actually going to pick him and Lindsey this week over Carry-On. I've got Carry-On just a smidge. Again, we'll say smidge lower. But because of the injury thing, because we have to pick out of these 3, I think you need to go with your best potential. I don't think Mac has that with the injury, so I would have him on the bench, Ryan. So hopefully that helps out for you. Michael wants to know Carson or Ingram. Michael Meger. Okay, sorry if I'm pronouncing your last name incorrectly. Going Carson for sure there. Harrison Romeo wants to know John Brown or Hilton. Going with Hilton. Skeptic MC says Professor Kyle. Hey, I appreciate it, man. I do teach some college classes. I don't allow my students to call me Mr. or Professor. No, they have to call me Kyle. I make my students call me Kyle. It's too weird. Mr. Richardson's my father. That he can have that for right now. So start Cohen or Jordy Nelson. Mike Hernandez wants to know. Mike, I'm going to go with Cohen because of his efficiency the last few weeks. I think you got to go him, especially if it's PPR. Let's scroll down here. Joe Camel, guys, like the video, please. Yeah, if you haven't liked the video, if you could do that really quick, would really appreciate it. We just passed 8,000 subscribers on this channel. We're putting in a lot of hard work, so we appreciate all the likes, all the shares, all the subscriptions. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. We appreciate that. William wants to know, how long do I hold on to Nyheim Hines? He's getting back to droppable status at this point, but at any minute, Marlon Mack could go down with another injury, and you've got to get Hines again. But as long as Mack is playing, Hines is going to be semi-droppable for me. Adam Fisher wants to know Sammy Watkins or Doug Baldwin. I've been in PPR. I'm going to go with Doug Baldwin. Again, I don't like the matchup, but I don't like Sammy Watkins overall. I've been trying to get Jake to agree to hashtag never Watkins. He's not doing that, though, so we'll see. I'll keep asking for it. Let's see here real quick. Rolling down, David Johnson, John Brown or Jeffery, Mayfield or Cam. John Brown and Cam for me 100%. Ramiro wants to know Breeze or Winston. Breeze 100% for me as well. Evan Ingram or Jared Cook, going Jared Cook. Luck or Brady, going Luck. Yeah, only 10 likes. Let's go. Let's get some more likes here. People would really appreciate it. Let's see. Chat's going down again. Roquan Smith. Dan Westby wants to know Roquan Smith. I'm guessing you mean Traquan Smith or Chester Rogers. I'm going with Traquan Smith, 100%. Harrison, you're the best. You're 7-0 because of us. Hey, appreciate it, man. We're just trying to drop some good knowledge for you. Hopefully it's working so far. Mostert, Murray, or Howard. Mostert if Matt Breida doesn't end up playing. If I had to go someone other than that, then I would probably go. I'm just going to double check. I want to check my rankings here real quick. I just want to look at something real fast. So just a quick pause. I like to do that from time to time to make sure. I'd go Howard over Murray, just by a tad. It depends on though. If Breida ends up being out 100%, get Mostert in there. Randall, Cobb, or Desean Jackson for me for sure. Cousins or Luck, going Luck this week again, just by a little bit. Jake, I'm not putting you in timeout, man. I'd never do that to you. AP, you need a decent defense this week. What are your options, man? What are your options? Robert, you want to know Demaryius Thomas or John Brown PPR, going John Brown again. Chaos Inspired wants to know Tariq Cohen or Phillip Lindsey, going Phillip Lindsey. Pete Williams, Cousins or Breeze. I've got Cousins, again, smidge ahead of Breeze, not by much. They're right next to each other. Go down again. Mark Ingram or Nick Chubb, Njoku or Graham. Richie, man, I don't like Ingram or Chubb this week, but give me Chubb because he's going to have the potential at the volumes. Njoku or Graham. Njoku 100% top 5 tight end. Fubar, the fantasy analyst. Kyle, the timeout. Richardson. I've only done it to one person. I don't think I deserve that nickname yet, so we'll see though. Wilson or Mayfield, going Wilson this week. Finke and Einhorn going Wilson. Matt Fiano wants to know Chubb or Carson, half-point PPR, going Carson because of the matchup. Really like that. Jerry Schwartz, really Luck. Wow, yeah, I've got Luck way up there. It's because they've been throwing the ball a lot. I mean, I've got to have, let me just scroll back over here to my ratings real quick, or rankings this week. I've got Andrew Luck as my QB2 this week. Maybe a little bold, but I've got him up there. And then I've got Goff, Cousins, and Breeze. Watson was my QB4 this week. So, and that was a tough matchup against Miami that he made look really easy. I know I was a lot higher on him than a lot of people, but I went with Watson at 4. So I'm hoping Luck also works out there too. Dante, give him Chubb, Jake, please. No, Jake. Then we'll have to talk about whether or not we can do the show anymore together. Dante McCringleberry again. Hill, Boyd, Diggs, Brown, 2 and standard. Hill for sure, 100%. Diggs and Brown. I've got to go Boyd over John Brown. And I'm going to go Boyd over Diggs, too. So a lot of people might not like that. But, yep, that's what I'm going with. A healthy Chris Thompson or Kenny Galladay from Skeptic MC. Kenny Galladay for me, for sure. VG LOL wants to know Aaron Jones, McCoy, Crowell, or Duke Johnson, or Breida full PPR. Full PPR, Breida if he's playing. If he's not, you can't go McCoy. He's in a concussion protocol. You can't go with him. Crowell doesn't have a really good matchup this week. Aaron Jones hasn't been used enough. I think you're forced to go Breida there. If for some reason he ends up being a last-minute scratch, then I'm going to roll the dice and play Aaron Jones. Josh wants to know Doug Martin or Aaron Jones. I'm going to go Aaron Jones. Swelly wants to know Hyde or Breida. Going Breida. Yeldon or Jordan Howard, half PPR. This is another one I got to look at because I don't like that Jacksonville backfield right now, especially in that game where I've got him. Yep, I've got Yeldon behind. I've got Yeldon behind Howard, so I would go with Howard this week. even though, again, not a huge fan of it. Ed Smith wants to know Baldwin or Landry. Landry, going Landry this week. Waleed Yassin, Kenyon or Traquan Smith. Traquan Smith for sure. If that's Barner, Kenyon Barner, nope, I already talked about him. Don't want anything to do with him this week. I feel like I'm trying my best Jake impression right now. I'm not letting it flow, but I'm trying to go through these as quick as possible. So I have some work to do. I'm not putting on the helmet. So as much as you guys want to see the helmet, it's not going on tonight. I can't take that from Jake. That's Jake's thing. Let's see, though. We've got almost 300 people watching right now. We need to get some more likes, man. I don't know. How many likes do we have? Where are we at in likes? Let's get some more likes. If we've got almost 300 people watching, we should have at least 100 likes by now. I don't think... John Smith, you want to like, then Winston or Dolan? It's Winston for me this week. Now, like the video, please. How's that for you? Keith Wiggins, Winston or Breeze? Going with Breeze. Shamit Singh wants to know Carson or Gabriel? Going with Carson. Let's go down here. Nugget Pizza just invented a masterpiece. Finkel and Einhorn, I don't know what you got going on over there, but it sounds delicious. Not eating very many carbs right now, though, so I can't jump in there. Let me know how it looks. So, FUBAR, that moment when you use Kyle and Jake's advice and have a weekly average 160 points a week and a normal team projection of 155 per week in a 10-team PPR league. Hey, man, if things are working out for you from our advice, we appreciate it. Kyle lets it fly, not flow. Hashtag let it fly. Oh, maybe that's a thing. We'll see. We'll have to see if Jake signs off on that. Maybe Jake can let it flow. I can let it fly. We'll see. Let's see here. How do you think Christian McCaffrey will do? Hey, it's Christian McCaffrey, new life. I mean, the guy has PPR upside. He's a threat to catch a ton of balls every single week, so I think that he's a must start. I mean, you have to have him in your lineup. You draft him to have him in your lineup. I have him a little bit lower this week, a little bit lower than what I would normally like to have him. I've got him at RB12. He could probably do a little bit better, but Baltimore has a great defense, so it's probably going to hold him back a little bit this week. But you probably drafted him to be your running back 1 or 2, so I think you have to have him out there. Let's scroll back down here real quick. Want to bet I like Connor or White standard. Connor, 100% go with Connor and standard especially. I'm definitely starting Hunt. Yep, but the other two are bugging me with the weather in the Pittsburgh game. Nope, go with Connor. Going Connor. Copyright infringement, FUBAR. I don't know if we're copywriting anything. We'll see there. Do you think Amari Cooper gives wide receiver value the rest of the year? Chris, I do think he does. One of my takes in the preseason about making Dak Prescott a must-own quarterback was not well received by a lot of people because I said he was going to be a QB1. I thought for sure he was going to be inside the top 12, having Zeke back fully ready to go. Offensive line being healthy. Unfortunately, they did have a couple of issues there at the beginning of the season. The wide receivers just haven't been as good as I had hoped, and I think that has caused some of the problems with the inconsistencies of the offense in Dallas. Now, here's the thing. Dak Prescott, since week 4, is the QB8 in fantasy football. So something's going right now. So I don't think I was too far off on my projections. He is still outside of that top 12 overall, but Amari Cooper is a huge asset for him the rest of the year. If he can get in there and learn the playbook well and start to develop some chemistry, I think it might take a couple of weeks, but wide receiver 3 value, 100%. I think he offers that to you the rest of the season. Again, though, we got to give him a couple of weeks. And I'm scared to even scroll down because if Jake is in this room, he's going to be telling me how wrong I am about that. Spine Edge wants to know Josh Gordon for Kittle. And as far as the trade goes, it depends on your team. That's 100% team dependent. Volume-wise, I will take the wide receiver over the tight end every time, but Kittle has been really good and is the main weapon for the 49ers right now, so that is really team-dependent for me. I would have to see that. Suze Lazar wants to know Chubb or Murray in a standard league. Got to go Chubb this week. Jennifer wants to know Stephon Diggs or John Brown. I'm going to double-check this one again. I like to refer back to my rankings. I do so many of them every week that sometimes I forget where I have people from time to time. Stephon Diggs and John Brown are literally right next to each other, so I'm going to go Diggs by a hair with that potential to maybe score a touchdown against New Orleans. John Brown against Carolina, a little bit of a tougher matchup, so Diggs by a hair this week, even though, again, I don't love it. Joe Camel, Zeke lost your game last week. Yeah, he almost lost one for me too, man, so don't feel bad there. How many PPR points are we expecting from Chubb this week? Simeon Mahi wants to know. I don't think a whole lot. I'm not really interested in that one. I'm not interested in that matchup. So Jack Doyle. Doyle, I'm not interested in. Jack Doyle, as we like to say around here. I'm not interested in playing him this week. I just think I think him coming back with Ebron playing really well, I don't know if that's one I want to jump into right away. Justin Fristo, Trenton Cannon, love Trenton Cannon this week and the rest of the season. He's a guy I think you should own. Ebron or Graham, going Ebron. Carson or Cohen in standard. Carson for sure, especially in standard. Jennifer, no problem. Austin Stark, Trubisky or Dalton, we're going Trubisky. Nolan wants to know, an IDP question. Olin, I appreciate this. I do IDP rankings and stuff like that. So if you play individual defensive players, make sure you head over to rotoballer.com, check out our rankings there. I do those every single week. I'm an avid IDP player myself. So, and I just lost it. Bradley Chubb or Von Miller? I'm going Bradley Chubb. Bradley Chubb is a guy that is going to be all over the field, not only for sacks, but in tackles. Von Miller is strictly he makes his living in the backfield type of player. He's not going to get nearly as many tackle opportunities as Chubb, so I start Chubb over Miller every single week. Let's see here real quick. Cam Newton or Winston. Let me double check my rankings there real quick because I've got those two guys pretty close. I have got Winston. Yep, I got Winston higher. So go with Winston for sure. Let's see. Non-PPR need one wide receiver tight end. Traquan Smith, Marquise Goodwin, Golden Tate, or George Kittle. You got to go with Golden Tate. In PPR, I don't like him nearly as much, but he's the wide receiver one in Detroit. You got to go with Golden Tate for sure. Mixon or White? Mixon, 100%. Kirk Cousins or Patty Mahomes? Hey, Patrick Mahomes, again, for probably my fourth straight week is my QB1. So, for sure, him. Traquan or Galladay? Going Galladay. Kittle or Olsen? Kittle, 100% for sure. Watkins or Lockett? Going Lockett. Adrian Peterson, Latavius Murray, or Mark Ingram? Tradesman exchange? Go AP this week. Dalton or Breeze? Breeze, 100%. Chris wants to know Chubb, Hayward, Buckner, or Dunlap. Oh, man. Chubb and Dunlap are really, really, really close for me. That's a gut play. That's a gut play, as I like to call it. It depends on your scoring. If your scoring offers more for sacks, then I go Dunlap. But if it offers a lot more for tackles, if it's a tackle-heavy scoring system, then Chubb. Let's see here. Alex Smith or Baker? I'm going Alex Smith this week. Not by a whole lot, but I do have Alex Smith. No, I'm sorry. I've got him flipped. Baker Mayfield. Sorry about that. I've got Baker Mayfield just above Alex Smith this week. Keelan Cole or Anthony Miller? I got to go with Keelan Cole. I want to go Anthony Miller. I do, but Keelan Cole has the opportunity to put up wide receiver one numbers for his team. Not overall. Wide receiver one numbers in Jacksonville. It's up and down, though. But I think I go with him because I think Anthony Miller has to compete with more. 49ers, Cincinnati, Washington, 49ers, or Arizona, PPR. Kyle, you need one here. Let me bring up my defensive special teams rankings right now. So just to roll through these, I'm getting a lot of defensive special team rankings. So everybody, if you've got questions for those, here's what I've got. At number 1, I've got Pittsburgh, and then Chicago, Houston, New England, and Philadelphia in the top 5. And then Arizona, Baltimore, Miami, Los Angeles, Cincinnati for the next 5. And then Kansas City, Washington, Detroit, Indianapolis, and Seattle. So those are my top 15. It goes further than that, but I'll just give you the 15 for right now. So out of those right there, I have got Arizona as the highest, is 6 against San Francisco. So AP going with, I'm going to go with Arizona this week. Mitch Magic or Big Ben? I've got Big Ben decently high this week. I've got Roethlisberger right in front of Mitch Magic, so I'm going to go with Ben Roethlisberger this week. Sorry, Mitch Magic truthers. Traquan Smith or Geronimo Allison for the flex? Traquan Smith, 100%. Galladay or T. Smith, PPR? If that's Torrey Smith is out. Traquan Smith, okay, my bad. Traquan Smith, Galladay, going Galladay just by a smidge again. Josh wants to know Nick Chubb or Doug Martin. Nick Chubb. Don't love it, but going with Nick Chubb. Davad. Sweet name, I do like that. Davad, Nick Chubb or Marlon Mack. I'm going to go with Nick Chubb. No, I'm sorry, excuse me. I'm going to go with Marlon Mack because I'm going to take the risk of him getting hurt over Nick Chubb's bad matchup. So Chubb might get more volume, but I think Marlon Mack, if he breaks 3 or 4 big plays, I think that gives you all the value that you need there. Yeldon keeper trade. I'm getting rid of Yeldon, upheaval 187, so I don't want anything to do with him. Mendevil 12. Galladay or Allison, going Galladay for sure. As Kika 00. Galladay, Boyd, or Baldwin and Standard, going with Boyd. Young Turbo wants to know pick 3. Boyd, Galladay, Tate, Woods, T.Y. I'm going Tate, T.Y., and Robert Woods. Justin Freesto wants to know, is Cortland Sutton a good stash for after the trade deadline? I think he is, although I'm going to grab him right now. If you have enough room on your bench, grab him. It doesn't look like Demaryius Thomas is going anywhere. They've said that, but there's still always that possibility. I think he's a good person to grab onto right now, but if Demaryius Thomas isn't traded, he's probably a guy that you just drop back. So if you have the room, yes, I would do this. Ryan Gata wants to know Funchess or Allison. We have a saying on this show, never Funchess, but I'm going to pick Funchess over Allison this week. Let's go up here. Joe Camel wants to know Kyle's Crushers for likes. I didn't do Kyle's Crushers this week. Let me scroll back here real quick, though. I've got all my notes. This is my notepad right here, okay? So this is all of October, all of my notes and research I've done for all of October. So I have all those weekly notes in here too. Let me double check on those Crushers from last week real quick. Let me see who I had. If you don't mind. Guys, I might hang around a little longer than 11:30. If you're in here asking questions and you want me to stick around longer, throw some hands up so I know. I can stick around a little bit longer if you want me to, but I got to see some hands and some likes. Throw those out there. So I'll stick around as long as you want me to. Let me see here. Tori, if you're out there watching, I see 24 minutes ago you said you sent in a question. I did not see it. Tori, text me that question. I'll get it for you, man. I cannot find Kyle's Crushers from last week right now. I can't. My bad. So we'll have to talk about that. We'll get that on the show next week. So don't worry about that. Kyle's Crushers will be back next week. Again, if you want me to stick around, it's 11:19. I was only going to do this until 11:30. But if there's people watching and you've got questions, I will continue to stick around until we get as many of those answered. I mean, I only have to be up at like 6 o'clock in the morning tomorrow, but what is sleep? It doesn't matter, right? So get some more likes there. I don't know how many likes we have right now, but keep liking that video. Would really appreciate it. Let's get some more of these questions. Mario Vera wants to know Jordy Nelson or Martavis in PPR. Going to go Jordy Nelson for PPR. Seeing a lot of hands, guys. I'll stick around longer then, no problem. Aaron Roberge wants to know surprise trades before the deadline. I don't know. I think it's going to end up being pretty quiet. I think the big moves have already been made. I don't think there'll be a lot more. Maybe a few here and there. We'll have to keep an eye on that. I think Demaryius Thomas is the one name we have to really keep an eye on. And then maybe Le'Veon Bell, but I don't think that's happening either. Anna, appreciate you liking as soon as it started. Really appreciate that. Zachary Wingate wants to know, is it safe to start Cam Newton tomorrow? My backup is Carson Wentz, and his matchup is horrible too. Which one do I go with? Going with Cam Newton. Noah wants to know Luck or Roethlisberger. Going with Luck. He's my QB2 this week. Yep, I'm very high on him this week. Ebron or Jordan Reed in standard. I'm going to consult the rankings here real quick again on that one. Ingram or Jordan Reed. Ebron or Jordan Reed. I've got Ebron at 3. I just wanted to double check because I thought I had Reed a little bit higher up than what I did, but going with Ebron there for sure. Is Sanders going to be traded? Chinmy wants to know if Sanders. I don't think so. I don't think Sanders is going anywhere. He's played well enough this year. Retro fan, you can't put emojis like that in the chat. Retro fan, you're going to get everyone thinking dirty. Do you think McCoy plays Monday? He's still in the concussion protocol right now. My gut feeling says that he does not, but I don't want to risk it if I don't have to. Kevin Galloway wants to know Crowell or Jalen Richard, half PPR. Jalen Richard, I'll go with him in half PPR. Buck Allen or Barner, Hodge 24 in PPR. Man, you got to find some better options. Is Trenton Cannon? If Trenton Cannon's out there, go pick him up and play him. If not, then I guess Buck Allen, but I don't like that one, man. Not at all. Gregory Sterling wants to know Trubisky or Breeze. Breeze this week for me. Sir Toxic wants to know Cousins or Wentz. Cousins for sure. Would you triple stack Dalton, Green, and Boyd? I don't think it's a bad stack. I'm not going to hate on that stack, but you have to know with Andy Dalton, you could always get an awful game. You never know what could happen, and if that happens, then Green and Boyd, they also tank you as well. So it's a stack that could work out, but it's a stack that could really hurt you as well. Bronson wants to know Gronk or Olsen. Going Gronk. Godmine, New York City. Godmine, appreciate you, man. I know you're out there quite often. We appreciate everything. And my chat just moved. Oh man, I was going Chubb or golf. Chubb or golf. Chubb who? There's no quarterback named Chubb. And what golf? You have to let me know. If I'm misreading that, you have to let me know, man. I'm sorry about that. Drop Graham or Burton for rest of season. Anthony, that's a tough one. First off, I would try and trade one to a tight end needy team first. If I had to go with one the rest of the season, I'd go with Burton, though. I'd go with Burton. Anna can't decide on the wide receiver 2 and flex from Lockett, Godwin, Traquan Smith, Collins, Brietta, or Crowell and standard. Traquan Smith and Lockett for me. I want to play Brietta, but in standard, I'm going to stay away from that just in case there are issues there. Should I trade Amari Cooper and Chubb for David Johnson? Brian McGee wants to know. In PPR, or not in PPR, excuse me, in redraft, this is a redraft league, not dynasty. Yeah, I'd make that deal. I would make that deal for David Johnson. I think he's going to get better now, and I hope he does. And if he does, you just sealed up a top 5 potential running back for maybe a low-end running back 1, high-end running back 2, and a guy that's probably going to be a wide receiver 3, wide receiver 2, low-end at best this year. So I'd make that deal. In Dynasty, no, I would not. I would stay away from it. Njoku or Olsen this week. Njoku or Olsen, going with Njoku. Joshua, Kyle, you are the man. Appreciate it, Joshua. Thanks for tuning in tonight. PPR, Nick Chubb or Jalen Richard, going Jalen Richard. Joshua wants to know what's Jake's Twitter account. Jake is at Fantasy Headliners, FNTSY Headliners. I'm on Twitter at KRich1532, closing in on that 10,000 follower mark. I'm really excited about that. It's awesome to see that. So if you're out there and you're not following me, please do give me a follow. I'd really appreciate it. Hoping to get there soon. Anthony Thomas wants to know Sammy Watkins or Brietta. If Brietta plays, I'm going with him. Chemo says, I traded Rudolph for Elliott. Was that a good trade? Needed running backs next week. Kyle Rudolph for Ezekiel Elliott? If you made that deal, man, then yeah, you killed it. If that is who I think it is, then yeah, 100%. What a deal for you. And I need to talk to the other guy a little bit because I don't know what they were doing there. Trey wants to know, should I accept this trade? Trey Brotherson says, non-PPR, he gets C-Mac, DJ, D-Hop, give Joe Mix, Late Murray, Woods, Christian McCaffrey, David Johnson, DeAndre Hopkins. If that is who that is, then 100% go hit accept right now. Don't wait. Get out of here. I don't even care if you're not viewing anymore. Go hit accept on that just as quickly as can. Josh wants to know, why do I like Cannon Jets running back so much? I like what I saw of him. He's an elite athlete. He's a really, really good athlete. Last week with the ball, he was great with the ball. The opportunity is going to be there the rest of the year for him to play a significant PPR role. In PPR leagues, I definitely think he could be a weekly flex play, potentially. It depends on the matchup, too. Crowell's just not going to be a guy that they're going to give all of the workload to. I mean, he's had some really good games this year. He's had some bad games. Let me run over here real quick while we're talking about it. Let me run over here to my dynamic running back rating. So we're going to talk about that a little bit. If you want to know more about the dynamic running back rating, make sure that you watch one of our videos from last week where we described this in depth. Again, this is a rating system that I've developed for running backs. It tells us highest weekly upside. I'm also going to be doing some more live streams with it. I've been posting on Twitter about it, so I'm going to get that information to as many of you as possible. So Marshawn, Lynch, Isaiah Crowell, there he is. So Isaiah Crowell on my running back rating right now has a score of 52, which isn't bad. That's average for this rating. He's a little bit higher because he's been really, really, really good in yards after contact. He's got a score of 77 in yards after contact. That's well above average. He's also got a score of 60 and tackles avoided per attempt, 2 categories I take into account for this rating. When he touches the football, he has an opportunity for a lot of second chance yards. And that's what I love in running backs. If they have a chance to break free, get me a few more yards here or there, maybe push their way into the end zone, I think that's something we really need to keep an eye on as fantasy owners that we don't necessarily do quite often. So Isaiah Crowell's been really, really good this year, but he's still split a lot of carries with Bilal Powell, who's also been decent this year. He's been pretty good from time to time. I think there's going to be a role for Trenton Cannon. I think he's still going to get a ton of catches, a ton of yards, a lot of different things. So I think rest of season, he is a solid play. I think both of these guys are a solid play the rest of the year, honestly. Let me jump back over here and minimize my chat. Hold on here. Kyle, who is the number one guy you want for a keeper league right now? Fubar, Bill Murray. Man, up there, Todd Gurley, number one. You really have to say Saquon Barkley is up there too. I really, really, really want Kareem Hunt. Kareem Hunt has looked amazing. I know the first few weeks of the season, he wasn't getting a ton of catches and we were worried. But man, this guy, if we had to redraft right now, Kareem Hunt is probably my 1.02 if we had to redraft. So he's a guy that I'm trying to get. Aaron Jones about to pop off. Hopefully, man, I really hope so. If he gets the workload, he absolutely will. He needs the volume more. Let's see. I don't feel great about it, but in a 2 QB PPR, I traded for Cam and Tevin, but I gave up Odell, SVT 400 HP. I did, however, trade away Alex Smith for Le'Veon Bell. Not bad or I probably wouldn't. In a 2 QB league, I don't think that's a bad deal. I probably would have tried to keep Odell, though, or maybe gotten a running back a little bit better than Tevin Coleman. The Alex Smith for Le'Veon Bell, depending on your other quarterbacks, that could end up being a genius move for you. So hopefully that ends up working out. Let's see here. I don't know how many people we have watching right now. Let's double check that, because I'll stick around longer if you guys want me to. Again, 11:29. I'll stay around. We've got 262 people watching, so make sure you're liking the video. If you're liking it, man, I really would appreciate it. Guys and girls, if you're out there watching, like I said, I'll stick around longer. Please like the video, though. Would really, really, really appreciate that. Diesel Franchise wants to know Uzuma or McDonald. Going Uzuma, or use your mama, as we like to call him around here. Should I drop Allen Robinson for Cobb half PPR? Bronson Cole wants to know that. No, as much as I'm down on Allen Robinson right now, I'm not grabbing Cobb. Richie wants to know, was Fuller out for the season? I need to get a new wide receiver. I'm stuck between Kiki, Tyrell Williams, and Godwin. Which one of these would you pick up? Kiki, do you love me, QT, is who I am going with this year. I think he has a better upside than all those guys the rest of the way. Dante McCringleberry letting us know 252 watching. Appreciate it, man. Let's scroll down here real quick. Federico wants to know Mark Ingram or Marlon Mack. Going Marlon Mack for sure. Can use him or McDonald. I did answer that a couple minutes ago, I think. Go and use your mama. Jake Dardran wants to know Cam or Trubisky. Again, I've got those two guys right next to each other in QB rankings. Very, very close. Let me scroll back down here real quick. I have got... I'm losing my spot here. I've got Mitch Magic just a little bit ahead of Cam Newton this week. SVT 400. If you're saying that I'm the shiz, I appreciate that, man. If not, if you're talking to someone else, then my bad. Upheaval 187 wants to know Ridley, keep or trade. You know what? With Ridley, I'm going to keep him for right now. I know he was a little banged up, but let's keep him. Don't try and trade him just yet, because I think his value is going back down a little bit right now. Jared Rendon wants to know Boyd or Alshon Jeffrey. I'm going Boyd. Giles wants to know Barner or Martin is your PPR running back too. Oh man, I don't like the matchup, but I have to go Martin there. Anthony West wants to know Nick Chubb or Alshon Jeffrey. Going Alshon Jeffrey. Alex Collins or Trenton Cannon in standard. Because it's standard, I'll go Alex Collins. If it was PPR, I'd go Cannon. MF King Doodley, whatever your name is, man. So Collins, Howard, or Murray in standard. Give me Howard this week. No problem, Ken. Evie just submitted a bid for Kiki. Good luck. Hopefully you get it. To pick up Kiki, Traquan, Tyrell, or Mohamed Sanu. Going Kiki and then Traquan. Really, really close together, though. Which one? Dalton or Trubisky? Going Trubisky. Yeldon or Shepard? If it's PPR, give me Shepard. Tony DeJesus, Chubb, or Carry on. 100%. No question there for me. Daryl wants to know 10-man PPR Edelman or Tyler Boyd. 10-man PPR. Let me check my rankings here real quick on that one, because I think that one in PPR is going to be a little bit closer for me. But I'm going Tyler Boyd on that one, so go with Boyd. Scrolling back down here. If I'm missing your questions, I apologize. Please make sure that you keep asking them. Again, I've already said it. If you want me to stick around longer, I will stick around longer. It's 11:32 right now. I was only going to go to 11:30, but I will keep going for sure. F. Marquez 1983 wants to know, how do I feel about Barner this week? I hate Barner this week. I don't want anything to do with him. Do not put him in your lineup. Breaking news here, running backs, Redskins running back Chris Thompson, listed as questionable for Sunday's game against the Giants due to rib and knee injuries, is expected to play. So if you have Chris Thompson out there, he is expected to play in PPR leagues. I think you do try to get him in your lineup if you can. If you want to give it a week, I completely understand as well. It depends on who else you have around, but it does look like Chris Thompson will be going this week. It does look like Will Fuller underwent knee surgery today too, expected to miss 6 to 9 months. So that's unfortunate. He was having a really good year. That whole offense was. Spinach wants to know, Carry-On and Funchess for Johnson. Is that David Johnson? If it is, then yes, as much as I love Carry-On, he's not getting quite the volume yet. He's getting a lot of things taken away from him. More breaking news, just blowing up here right now. It looks like if you're in an IDP league, it looks like Khalil Mack is going to be a game-time decision. And even if he does play, it looks like he's going to be limited. That's actually a big one. That is a big one right now. I bumped Crowell up a little bit, and I like Trenton Cannon even more if that happens. Got to keep an eye on that. Jake's going to be running the RotoBaller Game Day show by himself tomorrow. Again, I won't be around. I've got a family thing that I've had come up that I got to take care of and go do. I will be back next week for sure. These notifications I'm getting right now, make sure you head over, whether you have Android or iOS, doesn't matter. Go to your Play Store, go to Google, whatever you have. Go download the RotoBaller Fantasy Football app. Breaking news right to your phone. This is where I'm getting these messages from. A lot of different things coming right now. Bills running back Lesean Mccoy. Okay, so here's another one. This is another big one. So if you're watching right now, we're breaking all the news here. So this is good. Tell your friends to come watch with us. It looks like Lesean Mccoy is expected to play now. If you have Chris Ivory, get him out of your lineup. If you have Lesean McCoy, I would be hesitant. Try to find a better option. But if Lesean McCoy is your best option, it looks like he is going to play based on this news right here. Also, Bears wide receiver Allen Robinson is not expected to play. So another one here. Allen Robinson is not expected to play now. So if you have Allen Robinson, get him out of your lineup. Taylor Gabriel gets a huge bump for me there. So after we get done here doing this show, I have got a ton of fixes to make to my rankings. So I'm not going to be able to stick around too long tonight because I'll have to get all that done before tomorrow. But breaking news here again, if you are just tuning in or if you missed it, just a few things. Number one, Bills running back Lesean McCoy is expected to play. Bears wide receiver Allen Robinson is not expected to play. Bears linebacker Khalil Mack is going to be a game-time decision. Even if he does play, he's going to be limited. It looks like here 49ers running back Matt Breida, listed as questionable for Sunday's game due to an ankle injury, is expected to play but will be limited. The 49ers are going to use caution with him. So if you have Breida in your lineup, I'm getting him out. So if I have answered some of these questions I've answered tonight, if this changes, I apologize. But with all this news coming out, there is a lot of things that we have changing right now. Nate 600 wants to know Taylor Gabriel or Baldwin for the flex. Going Taylor Gabriel now with the news that Allen Robinson more than likely will be out. Taylor wants to know Galladay or Allison. Going Galladay for sure. Jimenez, should I drop Mostart to pick up Fitzgerald or Kiki after the week? Mostart, at this point, I'm playing Rasheed Mostart this week. So Mostart, get him into your lineups at this point. Breida is going to be limited, it sounds like. Can you put a link to the site that you get the breaking news from? Josh Scandal, on your phone, download the RotoBaller Fantasy Football app. We give those breaking news injuries right through the app. Go there and get them. That's where you'll get them from. Let's see here. Jordan Reed or Jack Doyle, going Jordan Reed. Chubb's for flex or Gabriel, going Gabriel over Nick Chubb. Cohen, Mack, White, pick 2 running backs in standard, going Mack and White. Great show, Kyle. You and Jake are the best. Appreciate it, Jerry. Thanks for being in here. Joe was just forced to put Brait in my flex, and I hate flexing tight ends. I do too, Joe, so I feel your pain, man. Sorry to hear that. Is Gronkowski playing? I think he is. I haven't heard anything for sure yet. Joe McGlena wants to know Mack or Lindsey is flex. I have Mack over Lindsey, but they're very, very close to me. Keep an eye on Mack news tomorrow. If Mack sounds like he's going to be limited or out, get Lindsey into your lineup. I feel like Jake. I need a drink here real quick. So let's pause for a quick intermission. Oh man, whew! I'm not letting it flow, but I'm letting it fly, as we talked about earlier. PPR Demaryius Thomas, Julian Edelman, going Julian Edelman. That's for you, Kyle Lemke. You must be a good dude because that's a great first name. Benjamin wants to know Josh Gordon or Sterling Shepard for the flex. I don't like Josh Gordon's matchup, but we're going to go Josh Gordon this week. AT&T Lafayette wants to know pick 2, Carson, Doug Martin, or Traquan in standard flex. If I have to pick 2, Carson and Traquan for sure. Get both of those guys in your lineup. Anthony, I'm awesome. Appreciate it, Anthony. Really do. Keelio Kid 99 wants to know Dalton or Winston. I've got Winston this week. Chad wants to know Alex Collins or Jalen Richard in standard. If it's standard, that one becomes more. If it was PPR, even half PPR, would for sure be going with Richard there. But Alex Collins has been playing a little bit better. He has been. Buck Allen hasn't really been doing a whole lot the past couple of weeks. Jalen Richard, though, I have just behind Alex Collins in standards, going with Alex Collins there. Shawn wants to know Demaryius Thomas or Cannon in PPR. Woo! That's a tough one, man. Okay. So my heart's telling me Cannon, but my head is telling me Demaryius Thomas. So let's break this down. Cannon is really only going to make an impact in PPR leagues. He's only going to make an impact in the passing game too. He's not going to go get a ton of carries. Demaryius Thomas carries a significant higher touchdown upside. And even though I don't love Demaryius Thomas this season because he's been letting us down a lot, playing against Kansas City, the opportunity is there going Demaryius Thomas. Shawn, sometimes you got to talk those things out a little bit and break that down. So that's where I'm going there. Tony wants to know Howard or Murray PPR. I'm going with Howard this week. Standard. Gentry wants to know standard. Chris Carson or Traquan Smith. Chris Carson in standard. Great matchup there. Mario Vera wants to know Yeldon, Cannon, Booker, or Jones for PPR. Give me Cannon for PPR. I'm gonna die on this Cannon hill this week if I have to. Few questions. Ooh, a bunch of questions just popped up here. Mohammed wants to know Ingram, Aaron Jones, or Mostert. Pick 2. Mostert is definitely one. Now knowing that sounds like Breida is going to be at least limited at the very best. Aaron Jones and Ingram. I want to say Ingram. Gonna go with Ingram. I think we know him a little bit better than what we know Aaron Jones at this point. Although I think Aaron Jones has a higher ceiling. Dante McCringleberry wants to know Mac ? Ingram, Diggs, Brown, Flex, Standard. How many do you need to have? Because if I have to pick one, I have Diggs just a smidge over Brown right now. Let's go down here. Here's a tight end question. Jarrell Moore wants to know Seals, Jones, or Herndon. I'm going Herndon in PPR. He's got touchdowns the last couple of weeks. Going with him. Justin, pick 2. Mostert, Cannon, or Richard in PPR. Mostert. I do have Richard just a little bit over Cannon. So we're going Richard and Mostert there. Matt Ryan or Baker Mayfield. Let me see where I've got Matt Ryan real quick. Let me double check that. Where are you at, Nolan? Matt Ryan or Baker Mayfield. There you are. Let me see where I've got Matt Ryan real fast. I have got... Oh, boy. Where do I have Matt Ryan at? Wait, Matt Ryan's on a bye. What are you doing? Why are you throwing these weird questions in here at me? I don't, my rankings, it might be messed up right now. I'm going to have to refresh the page real quick. Sorry about that, everybody. I've got my computer. It's tried to update on me the last couple of weeks, so I apologize there. Yeah, Matt Ryan on the bye this week. You threw me off when you said Matt Ryan because I immediately just assumed he was playing, but he's not because Atlanta's on the bye, Dallas is on the bye, Tennessee, and Los Angeles. So if you threw that in there to mess me up, I appreciate it. Thanks for keeping me on my toes. I failed, obviously. So let's see here. Vinny, go blue. Absolutely, man. Go blue. Lake Steez. Yeah, he threw me off, man. I saw the question, tried to answer it, got thrown off there. My bad. That's why it took a minute there. I've been answering so many questions. Like I said, got a lot going on right now. So, I apologize for that. Obviously, after I looked at it, I knew that he was on the bye, but the question threw me off. Vernon says, rest in peace, LA Dodgers. Hopefully that means that the Boston Red Sox are pulling one out tonight. Let's see here real quick. Tyler wants to know Mac, Cohen, or Kerryon Johnson. Pick one in PPR. I would have Mac slightly over Kerryon Johnson, but again, it depends on what goes on with Mac. Keep an eye on him. Dan Bailey or Justin Tucker? I gotta go Justin Tucker every single week. That's for you, Johan. Appreciate the comment, the question. Corbin wants to know standard scoring. Alex Collins or Kenny Galladay in the flex. I will go Kenny Galladay. Dante McCringleberry, great job, Kyle. Appreciate it, man. Joe Camel, you're from Ohio, man. I already know that. So we'll talk here in a few weeks. That's going to be a good game, I think, at the Horseshoe. I can't talk too much. It's Buckeyes have owned them, so that's going to be a tough matchup as always. LB wants to know, use them a Jimmy Graham, Aaron Jones, or Antonio Callaway, one tight end, and then a flex. If I'm going with a tight end, Jimmy Graham by a little bit, and Aaron Jones over Antonio Callaway. David wants to know Gabriel or Traquan Smith. Going with Gabriel now that we're hearing about Allen Robinson. Vinny Griffith wants to know David Johnson or Christian McCaffrey. I have David Johnson just a little bit ahead of McCaffrey this week. Alshon Jeffery or Doug Baldwin. Just subscribed. Hey, appreciate it, Ben. Thank you for subscribing. I'm going Doug Baldwin this week. Don't love the matchup, but I like the opportunity in a PPR league a little bit more than Jeffery, who has to face the Jaguars. Joseph wants to know if he should start Murray. Not unless I absolutely have to. I really don't want that. Bronson wants to know, should I drop Carlos Hyde for Royce Freeman? No, not at this point. Royce Freeman is hurt. Carlos Hyde at least will be the running back one there to start with. Fubar, trade Cooper Kupp and Chubb for Hunt? Yes. Yep, I would take Hunt. 100% for me. Elliott or Connor? I've got James Conner a little bit ahead of Elliott this week. And again, I just want to verify that real quick. Hold on a second. James Conner. Yep, James Conner I've got at running back 3 this week against Cleveland. I think that should be a good one. Muhammad wants to know if I should trade away Bell. It depends. If you can get something for him, then take a look. Nolan wants to know hot dog or chili dog. Actually made some chili earlier today. It was pretty good. We had hot dogs. I didn't end up putting it on a hot dog. After I realized we had hot dogs, I regretted it. Again, though, watching those carbs, so no bread, would have had to have just ate it on a plate. But that's okay. Better than nothing. Brian wants to know half PPR pick 2. Richard, Mostert, Traquan Smith, Chris Thompson. I am going Richard and Mostert, hearing about Breida now. Tucker or Crosby, going Tucker. Nelson or Gabriel in PPR. Gabriel, again, now that we're hearing that Allen Robinson is out, Gabriel gets a huge bump for me, so I'll have to make that tonight. Jimmy Wong wants to know Hendon or Rudolph, going with Rudolph. You answered all my questions. Thanks, Bronson, for tuning in. Glad I was able to help you out there. Levi wants to know standard Mac or Chubb, going Mac. Again, keep an eye out for him. Haw J24, good trade. Wants to know Elliott for Connor. I'm going to take Elliott. I would take Elliott over Connor because, we don't know what's going to happen with Bell at this point. If he comes back and they do a running back by committee and Bell gets a lot of touches, Elliott's going to be the workhorse there. So Joe wants to know, help me please, Allen, Mack, Ingram for Hunt. Keenan Allen, Marlon Mack, Evan Ingram for Hunt. Absolutely, 100%. I would do that, and I'm a huge Keenan Allen fan. Jacob needs to bench 1. Edelman, Jeffery, Hilton, or Landry. If it's PPR, Jeffery. If it's standard, Edelman. Josh Gordon for Nick Chubb. I have Connor, Michelle, Ingram, Johnson, Marlon Mack. If this is redraft, I would go for that. If it is Dynasty, no. Keep Nick Chubb. AT&T Lafayette, Galladay, or Traquan, going Traquan, excuse me. Going with Galladay this week. Lesean McCoy or Richard? Going with Richard. I'm not waiting till Monday night. Need to put a defense in. Detroit at home or Jags in London? I'll take the Jags in London with a struggling Philadelphia team. AJ Green or Odell Beckham? Give me Odell Beckham. Candy or meat? Give me meat. Let's see. I do like those questions. When you guys okay, don't ask me about players when they're on the bye. Don't do that. Don't throw those questions in there at me because that screws me up. But if you have other questions like that, I'll answer those. Trade Evans and Miller for Hunt. Yes, I would do that as well, especially PPR. Brandon Clark wants to know Tyler Boyd or Emmanuel Sanders and half PPR. Give me, got to consult the rankings here real quick. That's going to be a close one. Emmanuel Sanders, wide receiver 11. Give me Emmanuel Sanders. Dante, yeah, I'm trying to ball, my man. Trying to keep up. Still some really good questions coming in here. Justin, full PPR, wants to know Jalen Richard or Baldwin. Oh, give me Richard this week. Keith Wiggins, 12-man, full PPR, need a flex. McCaffrey, Mixon, Ingram, or Jalen Richard. You need to flex McCaffrey or Mixon? What kind of a team do you have? Give me Mixon this week. I've got Mixon up at running back 4 against Tampa Bay. Joe, awesome show, Kyle. Great job, buddy. Appreciate it, Joe. I'm glad we're on the same page now, man. I know we struggled there for a little bit, but we're good now. No hard feelings. Collins or Cannon in PPR? I'm telling you guys, I'm going with Cannon in PPR this week. I know if that one ends up burning up in my face, I apologize, but I've got this feeling I think he's going to have a really good week. I'm going with him, rolling with my gut there. Start Watkins or Yeldon on the flex. As much as I want to do hashtag never Watkins, I'm going to go with him here. C-Mac or Carson, full PPR. If C-Mac is Christian McCaffrey, then going with C-Mac. Lesean McCoy likely to play, yes, but it's still a Monday night. That one worries me. Popsicle or lollipop? If it's a summer month, give me a popsicle. Trade Julio for Sanders. No, Shawn, don't do that. Keep Julio. I know he's not getting in the end zone, man, but he still has far more upside than what Sanders has. Sanders is playing really, really, really well this year. Don't get me wrong, wide receiver 3 or 4 in PPR, but you got to ride Julio out. I think if you came back and asked for a little bit more, that you could do that. Can appreciate it. Thanks. Trying to put together a great show since I won't be here tomorrow. Tight end question: chance it with Gronk Monday night or roll with Ingram tomorrow? I am going to chance it with Gronk. Lake, I'm not trying to skip your questions, man. What do you got here? You keep saying, why do you skip my questions on defense, my guy? I don't mean to. Panthers or San Fran? Ran through my defenses a little bit ago, and I have got the Panthers or San Fran. Carolina, I've got them at 16. San Francisco, I've got below that. Go with Carolina. Carolina Panthers. Hopefully you got that. Joshua Nutson throwing out that breaking news there. Yeah, 4 Jags players were arrested in a bar brawl over a bill, but just said it a little bit ago, they're actually all back with the team at this point. They've said that they're handling it internally. If there are going to be any kind of suspensions, that they will handle it. I think they will end up being fine for tomorrow. I don't think you need to worry about them. Gronk or Burton? Going Gronk this week. Lockett or Gabriel? Again, Gabriel this week. The news of Allen Robinson being out, Gabriel gets a huge bump. Hodge24 wants to know if he should trade Diggs for Michael Thomas. Yes, Hodge24, shut this stream off. Go hit accept, then come back. Don't let that one pass you up, man. Isaiah Watson wants to know David Johnson or Phillip Lindsey. If it's a PPR league, I'm going Phillip Lindsey. I've got him just over David Johnson this week. And raise your hand if you, before this season, would have said that you're starting Phillip Lindsey over David Johnson in week 8. I know that I am not going to do it. Wendy's McNuggets wants me to take that helmet and let it flow in honor of Jake. See, that's Jake's thing, though. I can't let it flow in honor of Jake. And the bad thing is this thing's a lot bigger. Jake's helmet's way too small. This helmet's way too big. But the good news is you might get to see me wear it. It just depends. Because Jake and I made a bet this week in PPR leagues. I took Lamar Miller. He took Mark Ingram. Lamar Miller obviously had a really good week this week. We'll see what Ingram does on the wide receiver start-sit show that we do. Whoever loses that bet has to wear their helmet the entire episode, so we'll see what happens. I'm feeling good about my chances so far. Fingers crossed. Nolan wants to know RotoBaller or Kyle Richardson. Kyle Richardson and RotoBaller are all in the same, so both of us. I'm going to pick both. Let's see here. Dante, you're 6-1 thanks to myself and Jake. Hey, Dante, no problem. Is Le'Veon Bell going to get work when he decides to report SVT 400 FHP? I think so, man. I think it's going to happen. Dennis Skirvin wants to know Mostart or DJ in standard. Is that Duke Johnson or David Johnson? If it's David Johnson, 100% him. If it's Duke Johnson, go Mostart. Should I trade Dalvin Cook or wait out the injury, Justin? Money, you have to wait out the injury, man. He doesn't have a whole lot of value right now. Keith Wiggins, thanks. I have Kamara. Oh, that's not a question. You're probably talking with someone else. David Johnson or Marlon Mack, PPR. Hey, David Johnson and Marlon Mack. Marlon Mack, I've got a little bit higher, so I would end up going Marlon Mack based on my rankings. But again, too, there are some concerns. Keep an eye on the report tomorrow. If for some reason it comes out that Marlon Mack might be limited or he's not 100%, then go with David Johnson. So all these questions that I'm answering, if I'm answering Marlon Mack, you have to check back tomorrow. Check in with Jake right here. RotoBaller Game Day, 12 to 1. He'll keep you updated on everything. Marlon Mack has to be a full go for me tomorrow. If he isn't, then he drops significantly in my rankings for me. So, yeah. What can I get for Odell? It depends on what people are willing to offer you. Let's see. Scrolling back up. Joshua, I appreciate it, man. Yeah, I'm super active on Twitter. So even if I'm not hitting you, up here, make sure you hit me up on Twitter. I am constantly, my DMs are open on Twitter too. So I've got people DMing me constantly. So Skeptic hopes I lose that bet. I really don't, man. That's going to be awful. Fantasy footballers or the fantasy headliners. I love the fantasy footballers. I've had a chance to chat with them a couple of times, and they are really good dudes, and I love the work that they do. But Jake's my man. Got to go fantasy headliners. Scrolling down again. Chubb or Thompson. Chris Thompson is active tomorrow. In a PPR league, I would start him over Chubb. I would. Chubb, I'm not going to start unless it's standard. Stilly wants to know Sutton, Ellison, or Nelson bench stash. Please go with Jordy Nelson. He's got the best chance to be the number one there. Should I drop Chubb, Michelle, Rashard, or Drake for Shady? No. Don't drop any of those guys. Keep them all over McCoy. Jeremy P., who should I start? OBJ versus Kenny Galladay, or Jordan, Howard, Alex Collins, Mark Ingram, Latavius Murray? Who should I start? Need to. OBJ over Galladay. Going with him. Let's see here. Mark Ingram. Going Jordan Howard over Collins, Mark Ingram, and Latavius Murray. Scrolling down a little bit more. Andrew wants to know Colts defense or Cardinals defense. Go with the Cardinals defense. I've got them as the defense 6 this week. Let's see here tomorrow. Ghostface Bills wants to know full PPR, Traquan Smith, hashtag never Crabtree, Demaryius Thomas, Jordan Nelson, and a full PPR. Got to go with Demaryius Thomas this week just because the matchup is so good. Vernon, thanks for the help. No problem, my man. Bone wants to know if Jacksonville D will be drunk or sober by game time. Hopefully they'll be sober. Skeptic, hashtag never shady. I think that's something we're going to have to start here pretty soon. Joe wants to know if he should trade away Allen or Evans. I would trade away Allen if I had to do one of the two. Tony E., thanks for your time. No problem. Duke Johnson, Ronald Jones, or Hine tomorrow. Got to go Ronald Jones tomorrow. Duke Johnson just hasn't done anything for me yet this year. I don't like Ronald Jones. Hines is a non-factor with Marlon Mack in the lineup. Got to go Ronald Jones. Peyton Barber's been banged up this week. How do you feel about the New England D this week? Don't hate it, don't love it. I'm really in between on it. I think you could do better, but there's a lot of teams that could do worse. Who wins this trade? Diggs and David Johnson for Barkley. It depends. I'm going to take, probably in redraft, I would stick David Johnson and Diggs. Man, maybe even Dynasty too. In Dynasty, I might lean Barkley, though. I might lean Barkley in Dynasty. If Mack is a full go, flex over Diggs, right? Yes, Dante McCringleberry, 100% do that. Daniel wants to know Aaron Jones or Kirk in the flex. Go Aaron Jones. Might be a little bit of a risky play, but I think Kirk's just as risky. Standard, Raheem Mostert or Doug Baldwin. Going Mostert in that one. Again, he's getting a huge bump for me right now because of the news that it looks like Breida is going to be limited at best tomorrow. Lindsey, Mack, or Carry On in the flex. It's Mack in the flex. Adam E. Mick. It's Mac for me. Again, if he's limited in any way, shape, or form, switch to Lindsey. Best running back stash: Barber, Martin, McGuire, or Ware? Trenton Cannon. That's my C-Night. Trenton Cannon. Go get Trenton Cannon out of those guys. Wendy McNuggets. Allen Robinson droppable. Close, but don't do it just yet. Carla wants to know, should you start Pittsburgh or Cincinnati? Let's go with, let me scroll up here real quick. Let's go with Cincinnati. Cincinnati is at number 10. Go with Cincinnati. Jameis or Dalton? Go with Jameis. Flex Jordan Howard or Trey Burton or Aaron Jones? Going with Jordan Howard. Dalton or Winston in a super flex? Give me Winston. Should I start Juju or Mostert? Definitely Juju. A. Jimenez, make sure you go with Juju. Adam, thanks, man. No problem. Appreciate it. Crander wants to know, John Brown, Jarvis Landry, or TJ Yeldon. Pick one. Standard League, Jarvis. Standard League, Jarvis Landry. For sure there. Let me check on this real quick. 224 people watching still. Closing in an hour and a half. What do you think? You guys need me to stick around longer? If you need me to stick around longer, I can. A little bit, though. See, I do it for the people. I do it for the people. Just resetting some things here real quick, taking a look. If you want me to stick around longer, throw those hands up real quick. Questions are starting to slow down a little bit, so I don't want to stick around if you guys don't really have a whole lot of questions, but I want to make sure that I'm helping you out. So throw those hands up if you want me to stick around a little bit longer. The latest I can go is 12:30. Then I got to bounce, but need 9 likes. Taylor, you need an answer? Sure. Aguilar. There you go. Tony wants Jennifer to hit him up on Facebook. Okay. Hopefully Jennifer is okay with you asking her that. If not, please don't ask that in this chat here. Dante, appreciate the love, man. Really do. Seeing those hands shoot up, so I will stick around longer. Stilly says he feels selfish taking my time, but I'm loving it. Hey, man, this is for you guys. I do it for all of you. Don't feel selfish. Don't feel worried. Trust me. If I couldn't do it, I wouldn't be doing it. But I wanted to make sure I had a chance to do this since I won't be around tomorrow. Tyler Boyd or Brandon Cooks in standard? Give me Tyler Boyd this week. I feel like, let me double check something here real quick. So I have got, I'm sorry, go with Brandon Cooks. I've got Brandon Cooks 2 spots ahead of Tyler Boyd. I thought they were closer than that, but yeah, go there. Richard or Baldwin in standard? That's a tough one. Richard or Baldwin in standard? I think Richard loses value in standard league, so I'll go with Baldwin. Jennifer is married, so if you're asking Jennifer to contact you on Facebook, please don't. She is married. She has someone. Not to a football fan, so maybe I can well, Jennifer, now you're just I tried to help you out there, but that I can't do that anymore. So let's see here real quick. How do I feel about the Colts D versus overrated Carr and the Vegas Raiders? I don't hate it. Again, I think you could do better, but I don't think it's a bad play. Either Crabtree or Fitz in half PPR. We're going with Fitz because we go, never Crabtree here. Doug Baldwin or John Brown in standard. Give me that John Brown. Wendy's or McDonald's. I like Wendy's. I'm a Wendy's fan. We'll go with Wendy's. I don't do McDonald's unless it's like, I'm going to just hit the dollar menu real quick. Crander says he needs one more question answered. What is it? Defense, Colts or Ravens? Ravens. I love the Ravens. Let's see here real quick. What is the outlook for Tate and Galladay this week? I have both. Tate for sure. He's a start. Galladay, it depends on who else you have. I like both of them. One like away from 200. Make sure you hit that like button if you haven't. Let's get to 250 likes. Can we get to 250 likes, please? Let's do that. Running back issues, bye week, Justin Krogman, Duke Johnson, or Trenton Cannon. Trenton Cannon, my man. Like I said, I'm gonna die on that hill this week. If he doesn't outperform, and I'm really sorry, guys, but I've got a huge gut feeling he's gonna have a good week. Fred Kwan wants to know AP or Breida or Jones or Galladay or Richard for the flex. A whole lot of ors there. We're going PPR on the flex. I'm still over all of them going Adrian Peterson. Taylor Gabriel versus the Jets or Traquan Smith in standard. We're going Taylor Gabriel. The news that Allen Robinson's going to be out, got to go with him now. McCaffrey or Mack in standard. I've got Mack over McCaffrey in standard, but again, if Mack seems to be limited in any way, shape, or form, go McCaffrey. Rodgers or Goff. I'm going with Goff. Michael Roberts worth a start. Carla Baker. I'm not going with Michael Roberts. I talked about him actually on the tight end show. So after we get done here, if you've got some time, watch the tight end show from this week. You'll see what we have to say about him there. Taylor Gabriel or Jordan Howard flex, half PPR. From Hologram Nunchuck, going Taylor Gabriel. New Life, 2 running backs and a flex. Chubb, CMC, James White. Mack, going CMC, James White, and Mack for sure, all of them. Kirk or Traquan for wide receiver 2, go Traquan. AT&T Lafayette, last question, pick 2. Martin, Peterson, or Galladay in standard. Peterson and Galladay. Should I trade T.Y. Hilton for Keenan Allen in PPR? I would. If I could get Keenan Allen, I would. You could actually maybe get him cheaper than that, though, right now. Cook, Sanders, Woods, Jeffery, or T.Y. standard, pick 3. Cooks, Sanders, and T.Y. for me. Woods is really, really close to T.Y., though, so you couldn't go wrong either way, I don't think. Is Higgins the wide receiver to own in Cleveland? No. Jarvis Landry is the wide receiver to own in Cleveland, Finkel, and Einhorn. If you're talking about the wide receiver 2, if Higgins is healthy, then yeah, I think so. Let's see. Joe's keeping me updated. We have as many likes as we have people watching. Appreciate it. Let's get over that. If you're watching right now and you have not watched yet, or if not liked yet, hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. If you haven't followed me on Twitter yet, please follow me on Twitter. I think this is a good time to also let you know, I should have said this earlier in the show, we're giving away an Alvin Kamara jersey right now, too. So, a signed Alvin Kamara jersey. So, if you head over to my Twitter account, at krich1532, if you head over there, you can follow all the steps in my pinned tweet. It's the very first tweet in my profile. Follow all of those steps. If you do not have a Twitter, make a fake one real quick, run over there, follow all the steps, do what you're supposed to do, and get a chance to win a jersey. Let's see here real quick. Let's get some more questions in. Shawn McKenna wants to know, trade Julio for Lindsey and Edelman. No, I'm not doing that. I'm going to keep Julio there. Nathan wants to know, Shepard, Edelman, McCoy, or Baldwin for flex this week, PPR. You just need one. Edelman's going to be my guy this week in PPR. Trevor Lindsey for running back 2, 100% Lindsey. Guys, I've talked about this. No, I'm not starting Chubb this week. I am not starting Chubb this week unless I absolutely 100% have to. So if you've got Chubb, try to keep him on your bench. Trubisky with high winds in Chicago. If there's going to be high winds in Chicago, then Gabriel and Tariq Cohen are perfect weapons for that. Short passes, let the guys work after they catch the football. I have no problems with it. Stacy, subscribed and liked at the beginning of the show. Appreciate it, Stacy. Thank you for hanging out with me tonight. Half PPR, Chubb or Cannon? Oh, man, you guys are pushing me with these Cannon questions. If it was full PPR, I might lean Cannon, but because it's half, I'll still put Chubb out there. Man. Okay. Andrew wants to know Cannon or Hyde in PPR. I'm going with Cannon in PPR. Yeah, I'm telling you guys, this is a big call. If it doesn't work out for you this week, I'm really sorry, but I'm telling you, I've got that feeling that Cannon's in for a really big week. I like him a lot. He's going to get some passing work in PPR leagues. I think you got to play him this week. Full PPR, Kerryon Johnson or Chris Thompson, going Kerryon. Trubisky or Stafford in standard, going Trubisky. Duke Johnson or Aaron Jones in standard, going Aaron Jones. Cannon or Hyde in PPR, going Cannon. Edelman or Boyd at the flex in a standard league, going with Boyd. Jeffery or Josh Gordon in 0.5 PPR. Another tough one here. Let me check. I've got Jeffery. Go Jeffery there. I've got Jeffery higher. Mark Ingram or O.J. Howard. Go Mark Ingram because I do not start tight ends in my flex. What is the difference between half PPR and standard? It's the fact that if you get a reception, you get 0.5 points for it. In standard, you get no points for receptions. In full PPR, you get 1 point for receptions. Thanks, Kyle. No problem, Stacy. Appreciate it. Thanks for subscribing. I'm not letting it flow. I'm letting it fly, Dante. We talked about this. I can't take Jake's stuff. Jennifer, is Taylor Gabriel a start over Diggs? I'm moving Gabriel up quite a bit, but not that high. I'm going to still go Diggs just a little bit. Again, just a smidge, as I like to say. Olsen or Graham in PPR going Graham this week. Funches or Demaryius Thomas in half PPR going Demaryius Thomas. Let's see here real quick. Got some interesting. Hold on, I got some interesting messages coming in here real quick. Somebody wants to talk trade, so someone's trying to get me to talk trade with them right now. I'm going to have to let them know that will need to wait, even though I do love talking trade. I've made a lot of trades this week, a ton of trades. In a dynasty league that I'm in, I've won 3 of the last 4 years in the last 2 years. Ran into a lot of bad luck this year. It's a contract league, and I've been trading guys like Gronk and Emmanuel Sanders, a lot of guys that I can't keep next year. And I traded OBJ too, but I picked up Kerryon Johnson, Nick Chubb. I've got the 1.1 overall for next year. I've got another first-round pick. I've got 2 seconds. I've really stacked up. So it's been a busy week for me. Josh, what's up, man? Hey, Josh is tuning in right now. My man, California boy, over at Joshua. Oh, it's you. I never noticed the Twitter handle, man. I appreciate it. Been talking with you quite a bit on Twitter. Didn't even realize it. My bad. So appreciate it. Thanks for tuning in, my man. Go follow him. If you're on Twitter, go follow Josh at Joshua_Knutson, Knutson. Go follow him. He's a good dude. Hey, who to drop for Cannon? I have Mike Davis and Freeman. Oh, in redraft. Man, I'm dropping Mike Davis. I'd rather hold on to Royce Freeman a little bit longer than Mike Davis. Cannon, Mustard, or Jones, 2 of 3 standard. Give me in standard. I'm not going Cannon, so I'd go Mustard and Jones. And blue, Marvin Jones, Sammy Watkins, or Taylor Gabriel, and standard going Taylor Gabriel. Ito Smith on wire pickup. People, I'm not a big Ito Smith fan right now. I will be next year, but just not right now. Larry Fitz or Mostert for the flex. Oh, man. I know Jake has Larry Fitz as a must start this week. That's going to depend on whether it's PPR or standard. If it's standard, Mostert. If it's PPR, Larry Fitz. Trade Baldwin and Galladay for Diggs. No, I would keep Baldwin and Galladay. Maria Marshall, you have a question and you're not asking? What is it? Someone said, Maria Marshall, ask your question and we will help. What's your question, Maria? Toss it in there. I'll keep looking for it. AP wants to know he has Boyd, Evans, and John Brown. Should I play Gabriel over any of them? PPR need help. No. Maybe John Brown. But that's a toss-up for me. That's a big toss-up. Definitely not over Boyd or Evans. I think Brown is kind of a gut call. If it were my lineup, I would have John Brown in. Let's see here real quick. Got a lot of questions. I was looking for questions. Someone said that somebody had a question I wasn't asking. A. Jimenez wants to know, should I trade Ingram and Thielen for Barkley? Thanks for all the help. No, don't do it. Not in redraft. Keep them. I like Barkley, but not going with it. Thoughts on Kenyon Barner? VA fan Jr. No Kenyon Barner. We've talked about him a couple of times on this show already. Stay away from him. Do you recommend playing Woods and Cooks, or should I pick one of Sanders, Jeffery, T.Y., and Chubb? I would play, hold on, let me see where I have Woods real quick. I have Woods and Cooks back-to-back right next to each other, but I have Emmanuel Sanders over both of them. So definitely start Emmanuel Sanders. And then I've got Woods. If it's PPR, Woods. If it's standard, go Cooks. So hopefully that answers your question. Alex Collins or Latavius Murray in PPR, go Alex Collins. Murray or Collins for standard, go Collins. Mystery Jones third or Cannon 2 of 3 standard. Sorry, man, I don't understand the question. Daniel wants to know Lesean or Carson for the flex. Go with Carson. Good matchup for him. At least we know we're playing. Should I drop Breida and pick up Jalen Richard standard? No, I want to keep Breida. I want to wait that one out a little bit. Unless you absolutely have to have a play this week, then yes. But Aaron wants to know if I hold on to handcuffs. It depends. It really depends on the player. It depends on how deep the rosters are. I would much rather own a PPR player like a Chris Thompson or Jalen Richard, someone like that, than a handcuff. Gordon, Howard, or Jeffery, 0.5 PPR. I'll go Jeffery over those guys. Breida or Thompson in PPR, go Thompson because Breida is going to be limited. Tate or Edelman at flex, half PPR. Ying Chen going Tate. Breeze or Trubisky, Edgar, go Breeze. Breeze or Trubisky in standard, going Breeze still. PPR rest of the season. Yelton, Martin, Duke, R. Jones. I'm not going Ronald Jones for sure. Mostert, C-Night, I'm going Mostert for the rest of the year. Worth holding on to Dante Freeman. Is that supposed to be Donta Foreman or Devontae Freeman? You're going to have to clarify for me. Breeze or Trubisky, going Breeze. Trade Sanders or Woods for Ingram or White. My other receivers are Juju and Hill. I have David Johnson on a bye next week and need a running back. I would rather keep Sanders right now. So trade Woods and try to get White. That would be my recommendation for you. Pot roast or mac and cheese? Oh, man, I love some mac and cheese. I like pot roast, but if it's not done right, if it's too dry, don't like it at all. So I'm going mac and cheese. Joe wants to know Mike Davis or Brayton my flex. Oh, man, Joe. You know I don't like starting tight ends in my flex, but I would lean Mike Davis because of the volume. Hopefully he gets in there some, but if Brate finds the end zone, he probably outscores them. Your thoughts about Mac. Fred Kwan wants to know my thoughts about Mac. If we're talking Marlon Mack, not Khalil Mack, he's my running back 3 this week. Running back 3 or 4. Hold on, let me double check. Running back 5, excuse me. He's my running back 5 this week. So the problem with Marlon Mack is he's got a good matchup. He's got a potential great game script coming up. But he didn't practice one day suddenly. He was back at practice. He's had injury issues this year. If the game plan gets out of hand and maybe they go, I mean, there's a lot of things that could happen. So I'm starting to be more and more cautious with Mac. Keep up on the news tomorrow. Keep up on the news tomorrow. If Mac is 100% ready to roll, you put Mac in. If he looks like he's going to be limited at all, try to find a different option. Finkel wants to know peanut or colada. Interesting story there. I actually don't drink. It's just a choice. I don't have an issue with drinking or anything like that, but when my daughter was born, I just made the decision to not drink anymore. It was something that my father told me when I was at a younger age, when I asked him why he didn't ever drink when we were out on baseball trips with the other dads. He said, when you were born, I made the decision to not drink, and it's something that stuck with me, and my dad's a huge role model of mine. He does so much for me. He's an awesome person. So it's just something that I've also chose to do, to kind of follow in those footsteps. So I actually don't drink, so I couldn't tell you peanut or colada, either one, because I probably don't know what either of those things taste like. Lindsey or Mac, 0.5 PPR. If Mac is playing, it's Mac, Ambi. If Mac's not playing or going to be limited at all, then you got to go with Lindsey. Sutton pickup PPR. Yep, I would stash Sutton if you have the room on your bench. Jamarcus Russell or Derek Carr, who has more upside? That's really going to depend, man. So at this point, you got to give it to Derek Carr because at least he's on a football field. But oh man, Juju or John Brown? Todd wants to know. Todd, go with Juju. Trubisky or Wilson? Got to go with. Who do I have? Let me double check. Trubisky. Go with Trubisky. What's the second best fantasy show? I'm starting to slur my words here. It's 12:15. Yours being the first, of course. Well, the fantasy headliners and RotoBaller YouTube, the best ones that you can get out there. Let's see here. Dangerous or Winston? I'm going Winston. John Brown or Taylor Gabriel? And standard, going John Brown. Any advice on starting a money league? Zach. Let me do this, Zach. Zach Snyder wants to know any advice on starting a money league. Zach, hit me up on Twitter. Let's go a little bit more in depth on that because I've got a lot of advice for you, but not nearly enough that I can throw that in here. Josh is a little sad that I don't drink, but it's really cool. Thanks, Josh. Appreciate it, my man. Skeptic, you go Kyle Cream Soda. Oh, okay, so this is the scene. This is the thing. Skeptic, MC, go you Kyle, cream soda or root beer. So here's the thing. I get made fun of sometimes because my choice of drink on game day is cream soda. I love to go down to the store, get those glass bottled IBC cream sodas, throw them in the freezer for a little bit, get them really cold, pop them open. I haven't drank pop in quite some time now because I'm trying to be careful with it, but when we get to Thanksgiving, I'm going to pop a cream soda just for you guys. Solstice Beauty by Jessica wants to know Seahawks or Lions. Oh, man. Let me take the Lions this week. I'm going to take the Lions this week. Mr. Juiceball wants to know if I publish my rankings. Well, you can find my personal rankings on Fantasy Pros because I'm a ranker over there, but The best place to get rankings is from RotoBaller.com. We have our consensus rankings there. So you'll see my rankings and then all of our other RotoBaller experts. They line it all up. They give you the consensus so you can see where all of us have them. So head over to RotoBaller.com. Let's see here real quick. Joe, love Big Red. Big Red is big here in Indiana. A lot of people love it. Standard, 2 or 3. Mustard, Jones, third. Manny, you asked that question last time. I don't know what Jones third means or canon. If it's standard, I got to go with Mustard. I don't know what Jones. If it's Aaron Jones, if it's Ronald Jones, if it's Aaron Jones, yes. If it's Ronald Jones, I really don't want to. Chips and dip or nachos and salsa, going nachos and salsa. Kittle, Yeldon, flex PPR. C-Night, that's another tough one, man, because I don't like starting tight ends, but with Yeldon possibly being limited, a morning game over there, Yeldon being limited because of Hyde now, I'll go with Kittle. I'm going to break my cardinal rule this week. Trade Lindsey away, getting Josh Gordon. No, I would keep Lindsey, Amby in redraft. If it's 0.5 PPR, I would keep him in redraft. If it's Dynasty, I might have to rethink that. Mitch Magic or Big Ben, PPR and Y. Shawn, I've got Mitch Magic going this week. I've gotten a little bit higher than Big. Oh, wait, no. See, I got to double check myself again here real quick. I've got Ben in front of Mitch Magic. I apologize. Roethlisberger, just a bump in front of Mitch Magic. Roethlisberger, I just think at home versus Cleveland, I think it's a good matchup for him. Lindsey or Carry-On, guys. Skeptic, I'm going Lindsey this week. Ebron or Olsen, I'm going Ebron. Miller or Cole, I'm going Cole. Doug Baldwin or Taylor Gabriel. Half-point PPR. Auburn Tiger Productions, that's a tough one for me too, man. Taylor Gabriel, he's shooting up my rankings right now. I haven't had a chance to redo them, but I need to get him up in the rankings now with Allen Robinson more than likely being out tomorrow. That's a tough one. They're going to be really even for me. I don't think you could. I think they're both going to be in the same ballpark. Traquan Smith or Deshaun Jackson. I think you got to go Jackson. He's proved himself so far. Lockett or Gabriel. I'm going Gabriel now. A-Rod or Goff. I'm going Goff. Traquan. Oh, I just did that one. See, I'm starting to get myself. Farouk wants to know if I can read my top 10 quarterbacks. Yep, let me do that real quick. Top 10 quarterbacks this week. Patrick Mahomes, Andrew Luck, Jared Goff, Deshaun Watson, Kirk Cousins, Drew Brees, Aaron Rodgers, Jameis Winston, Andy Dalton, Tom Brady, Ben Roethlisberger, Mitch Trubisky. Those are my top 10. Joe, you're killing me tonight, man. I'm like the ugly girlfriend that you learned to love. I appreciate that. I guess so. Trubisky or Wilson, going with Trubisky. Drop Graham to pick up Fitz or Smith off waivers if can't trade. Let's see here. Drop Graham to pick up Fitz or Smith off waivers. If you have two tight ends, depending on who your other tight end, I would take a look at that, possibly. Aaron Jones or Rashard. PPR is Rashard. Had to get a drink there real quick. Hyde or Chubb. Hyde this week, Chubb rest of the season. No Dak in the top 10. No Raven, I don't have him in the top 10 right now. Maybe, though. We'll see when Amari gets back. But that's for... yeah, we have to see what happens with Amari. I love Dak, but they're on a bye this week. Number one, again, you got to stop throwing those questions out there because you catch me off guard. Dallas is on the bye this week, so, I hope he gets into the top 12. I think he still has a shot, but we'll have to see. Trade Funches for Jordan Howard and Standard. Yes, I would do that. Let's see here. We're closing in on 12:20. So, a couple of things here real quick. So, while we've still got this going, and I've got people watching still right now, let me throw a couple of things out there real quick. Just under 200 watching. Not bad for 12:20 at night, I guess. Number one, if you're watching right now, please like the video. That would be awesome. If you haven't liked yet, I'd appreciate that. So do that, please. If you haven't subscribed yet and you're watching right now, we would really appreciate the subscription. Just past 8,000. Want to make that run towards 9,000 as soon as possible. So hopefully we get there really soon. Also, make sure tomorrow that you tune into RotoBaller Game Day right here on RotoBaller YouTube. Typically, that is myself and Jake hosting that from 12 to 1 every Sunday. I've got a family thing that came up. I've got to bolt out of town for a little bit tomorrow, and I will not be here to do it, though. So Jake will be running solo, but he'll do a great job. He'll get your questions answered. He'll let it flow like always, and then I'll be back with you next week. I plan on doing a lot more of these videos or a lot more of these live streams throughout the week now. Just had to get my schedule in place to be able to do it. This is not my full-time gig. I have a full-time gig. I'm also a teacher. I do this. I have a family. Got a lot of different things going on. So I try to do it as much as possible, but we'll see what happens from here on out. Aaron wants the Kamara jersey. Aaron, follow those steps and you will have a shot, my man. Farouk, thanks for it. Yep, thanks. He says, great work, Kyle. You won me over. Appreciate it. King Robert says, I'll be missed tomorrow. Also appreciate it. Guys, I appreciate you tuning in for tonight. I really do. I went at 10:30, 2 hours worth of this stuff. So been going for a while here now, but I appreciate it. Had a lot of fun doing this. We're going to call it Let It Fly now instead of Let It Flow. So we'll talk to Jake about that and see if he's okay with it. Make sure you're heading over to rotoballer.com too. All of our start sit tool over there is 100% free. So if you need any questions I didn't get to tonight, go over to that start sit tool. It'll get you through your games tomorrow. Make sure you hit me up on Twitter at krich1532. As always, appreciate it, guys. Thank you for throwing it out there to me. I am going to book out at this point. Got to get a little bit of sleep before tomorrow. We'll see what happens. But again, follow us on Twitter. Like and subscribe to the channel. We appreciate that. We'll be touching base more next week. I will see you guys then. Have a great week 8. Good luck to everybody. And we'll talk to you soon. Have a good one. Thanks, guys.